It's far too wet. How many's in here? Bro. Okay. We know what we need to know. Here's what we need to know. That's a 0 on look. That looks like weird placenta. So looks is 0, hard 0. Smell is also consequently a 0. I'm not getting any pumpkin spice on that. Welcome back to Privy. Privy is a podcast about bathrooms, recorded from my home bathroom. I'm your host, Hunter Hoover, and I love bathrooms. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back. And I want to just say, longtime listeners of this show will know this show has its beginnings in appreciating what we have and being intrigued by things have come together. And before I get into what's going to be this week's episode, I want to note a couple things. The first is I use a recording platform that has recently released a new feature that I'm very excited to use, as it will continue to make my life easier and easier to use this. Big fan of what I just saw when I logged in. Took me a minute, a little late on jumping on. But one of the things as we kick off November, we survived Spoopkey season. We're out of the thick of it here. But one of the things that has like the early days of Privy is this attitude of thankfulness, primarily for the toilet and the very good things that do go on in the toilet, but as well as just being thankful for the fact that we could have existed at any point in history, and we exist in the point where, like, I've got pumpkin spice dude wipes and a bidet. It's something I'm thankful for. To get us into this spirit of thankfulness that we're going to be exploring throughout the month of November, nothing would warm our spirits more than to talk about everyone's favorite seasonal fall flavor. And we're going to do it in a big way, because we're going to be ranking bathroom pumpkin spice products. And before we do so, we need to lay the building blocks for what is truly an iconic fall staple. It's truly fall. The leaves are falling. I am falling. I've injured my back like an old man, and so if you see me adjusting, it's not a wedgie. It's because I've destroyed my spine lifting pizza. I know. But we're going to dive into pumpkin spice. Just get right up in the pumpkin spice. I'm on record saying to many people that if I was a spice girl, I would in fact be pumpkin spice. Yeah, I've embraced it. I know it's like typically aimed at like white Ugg moms, but yeah, I don't know. There's something about it that really brings the white Ugg mom out in me, I suppose. Before we get fully into ranking our pumpkin spice, it's important to note that pumpkin spice is technically not real. Now, fall moms clutching your Starbucks cups, don't you worry. We're going to explain that. And I love the pumpkin spice as much, if not more, than you do. I bet you it's more. But that's because pumpkin spice is really a conglomeration of very good spices that come together in a way that make you feel kind of warm and fallish. As the temperature drops, we begin looking for the spices in things that warm us down to our little toesies. It's a unique concoction, and one which has brought together via globalism and global trade. As these spices are spread around the world, they're brought together, unified under the brand and umbrella of pumpkin spice. We're going to go through these spices and how they all came together. And the first, carrying a large chunk of the weight on this spice list, is cinnamon. And I want to tell you, I freaking love cinnamon. Cinnamon's so good. If you give me anything in cinnamon flavor, probably dig it. Probably a big fan. And there used to be the cinnamon toothpaste. Now, I know I've complained about this on the show in the past, but there used to be this cinnamon toothpaste, Crest Pro Health cinnamon, and it was like gritty and cinnamon. And I've reached out to Crest to try to, it's discontinued. It got discontinued back in the mid 2010s. I've written into them, and they have confirmed. Crest, if you're listening, you can prove me a liar by sending me a case of Crest Pro Health Cinnamon. But they've confirmed they are not making it anymore and don't plan to. And I've tried a litany of cinnamon toothpastes that are on the market, and none of them scratch my cinny itch as much as Crest Pro Health Cinnamon. There's some things you can't get back. Crest, everything I touch dies. Every product that I love and truly love, this isn't a bit. Like, people think, yeah, right. Like, you just pretended to love these things because they want. No, I truly did. And you ask my wife, which, having listened to last episode, I cannot believe the things that happened on this show. I cannot believe my wife hijacked the show, interviewed my guest, and then talked trash about the Transylvania twist. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Missed opportunity. Drac, I'll get you next year. But every product I love touch, like Coke with coffee, Fruity Pebbles Liquid Death. I mean, I could go on and on about these beloved flavors and delicious concoctions that I truly do enjoy, that they just discontinue them because not enough people love them. But you know what is not going away anytime soon, I'm pretty sure, is the pumpkin spice latte. But cinnamon, the OG spice in this concoction, originally hails from southern India or Sri Lanka and other parts of Southeast Asia. Cinnamon spread rapidly and early. There are records of Egyptians using it in embalming practices, and the Romans used it to flavor food and drink. A myth was propagated by Arab traders that giant birds guarded cinnamon spice to drive prices up for it at one point. It's a classic, hey, the cinnamon was really hard because we had to fight off jumbo birds in order to get this delicious cinnamon spice, and so pay us double, please. Next on the list of our pumpkin spice concoction is nutmeg, or as I, in true middle school boy fashion, like to call it butt Craig. I know, butt Craig. Nutmeg originates from the Banda Islands of Indonesia. It's also known as the Spice Island, and it was moved also by Arab traders, where Europeans enjoyed nutmeg for its flavor and the belief that it would make you raring for some time in bed. You know what I'm saying? People were just fully randy for some nutmeg, getting randy for nutmeg. Third up on the list is ginger. Here's what you need to know about ginger. First of all, beware. Second of all, somehow spicy. Somehow ginger ends up being more spicy than you really think. If you've ever had ginger, not like fake ginger, you'll know it's kind of spicy. Another great drink, the bold ginger ale. It's got triple the shot of ginger. This is not a ginger ale, I know, but I'm wet my whistle. This is, if they ever discontinue Polar Seltzer, I don't think they will. They've been around since 1800s, but we have a terrible problem. We're returning to our Polar. So good. They need pumpkin spice Polar. Polar Seltzer, if you're listening to me, pumpkin spice Polar, or send me a case of the coconut. I would like to try it. I cannot find it anywhere where I live. Yeah, ginger's kind of spicy, and it's used in traditional Chinese medicine. The wicked Emperor Nero is reported to have eaten a bunch of ginger to cleanse himself after he killed his wife. It's nothing really resets the system after committing wife murder than eating a bunch of spiced herbs and probably diarrheaing, really getting it out of the system. Dude was a bad dude. Corn Pop was a bad dude, and it was Nero. Fourth is cloves, which is native to the same islands as Butt Craig, and it's used in the Mesopotamia region that can be dated as far back as 1700 BC. Nutmeg was highly valuable by sailors and explorers due to its vitamin C content. And so clove is very similar. Last on the list, fifth, if you will, is a spice that is strangely named, quote unquote, allspice. Now, this is tricky because allspice is different than everything seasoning. I know. It's confusing to me too because they have everything seasoning, which is different than allspice. Everything seasoning is just a mix of all of the spices and seasoning. And allspice is a specific spice. I wrote this episode, so I'm just full transparency. The way my life is, this episode was recorded much like a Tarantino movie, out of order. And as I will note later on, there's parts that might not make it due to time constraints. I'm sorry, and I will try to update you as we go via the internet. Stay tuned and watch for those updates. But this episode was put down on paper. The research portion was put down on paper on Columbus Day. Allspice was native to the Caribbean and was totally unknown to Europeans until after Columbus took a bunch of the stuff back to the European world after his travels. He felt that it had the flavors of cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove combined, and they referred to this combo spice as allspice. So that's neat. But like all of these spices coming from all these different parts of the world, when did they start putting them together? Once again, the answer is trade. Arab and Venetian traders had brought these spices together, and they became baking and cooking luxuries in Europe during the Middle Ages. Again, many of these spices were more costly than precious metals at the time. And so use of these spices was kind of reserved for the wealthy. Like, you want to find the top 1%, it's the dude that's just like putting a cinnamon stick in some apple cider. Dude, that dude's bougie as flip. Like, if you're cinnamon sticking your apple cider, you are a bougie joker for sure back then. For sure. You might be hearing all this and thinking, this is a conversation about pumpkin spice and the orange globular friends have been nowhere to be found. Like, I've heard about some spices, but where in the flippin' heck's the pumpkins at? Pumpkin, as it turns out, are native to America. And like, same, me too, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's probably the only thing that pumpkins and I have in common. It's definitely not shape. That's for sure. But when the European settlers arrived in America, they found these plumpkins, more like blumpkins, just big old dudes, on account of how plump, you see, because plumpkins, get it? But it was only a matter of time before they began implementing these large gourds into various baking and cooking dishes, and pies were a popular path forward. Various puddings, custard pies, and cakes already used a fine smattering of spices. So why not add a variety of these spices, which were brought to the New World via trade out of Asia and other Arab countries, and made their way into these United States via settlers? Why not try to spice up our pumpkin dishes a bit, if you will? Cookbooks as early as the 1700s recommend blends of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, allspice, and pumpkin or squash in pie. And that's really what it was. A conglomeration of the world's spices brought together via global trade and transatlantic travel by the American settlers, and one of America's unique crops, put in pie. But the spice itself remained nondescript. And as I noted, I listed a list of spices, but nothing that is called pumpkin spice. In 1989, Baltimore's very own Willoughby, sought out on a business venture. The pitch: selling root beer, fruit syrups, and flavors, spices, door to door, packaged out of his basement. Willoughby had 50 cents in seed money to his name, a girl to mix the products, and a boy to go about town selling them. His products, which would expand beyond syrups, were sold via a horse-drawn buggy. Willoughby McCormick was a huge proponent of marketing and branding, and insisted that their branding and quality control be a part of every McCormick product they shipped out. He bet on the idea that customers pay more for a name if it was one that consistently proved valuable and trustworthy and faithful, and it turns out he was right. The company was growing. Until, that is, it burned to the ground 1904. Rather than giving up, Willoughby McCormick rebuilt his company from scratch, started from zero again, and promised all their employees a job after they rebuilt. This led to fierce employee loyalty to the family company. Willoughby McCormick passed in 1932 and was succeeded by his nephew, Charles P. McCormick. It's under Charles that the company adopted a new, upcoming spice. In fact, even produced the first of its kind spice that blended the wonders of the New World with the spices of the Old One. And they called this pre-built, pre-packaged, pre-made, premium McCormick spice Pumpkin Pie Spice. Pumpkin Pie Spice was sold under the McCormick label as a premixed product marketed by and sold as having a warm colonial-era spice and feeling. In fact, this pumpkin pie spice was the chief and leading product for McCormick throughout the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. It became a staple right next to Libby's pumpkin pie filling in a can, and eventually made pumpkin pie the official pie of Thanksgiving. Look out, Apple. Take a step aside, pecan. Step over, cherry. This is pumpkin pie's party. You're not invited. The spice moved away from pie and into cookies and cakes in the 60s and 70s. In the 80s and 90s, however, is where things began to get weird. Pumpkin pie spiced muffins, pumpkin pie spiced ice cream. But in the background, there was a growing market that's going to collide with the pumpkin pie spice in a big way. Because coffee culture was on the rise. And with it, a Seattle-based coffee chain that would eventually go national and global. In 2003, Starbucks launched the Pumpkin Spice Latte as a seasonal experiment invented by product manager Peter Dukes. The recipe was espresso, milk, sugar, and a pumpkin-spiced flavored syrup. In time, the pumpkin pie spice shifted to a new cultural icon, dropped the pie because really it quit being used primarily in pies, and became known as the pumpkin spiced latte. McCormick defined the flavor and brought these spices together. Starbucks perfected and sent the flavor into a new craze unseen before. In time, what was once a global connection of spice trade became a simple mixture and a delicious coffee. But I want to note, people do not stop there. Because while pumpkin spice is delicious, it also smells really good. Like, really good. So much so that pumpkin pie spice, after it left the spice racks and entered baked goods and eventually coffee drinks, pumpkin spice would also leave the kitchen and coffee cups and invade our bathrooms. And so, with this deep dive on pumpkin spice and a brief history on where this beloved scent, flavor, and spice profile comes from, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our ranked pumpkin spice bathroom product. Our pumpkin spice bathroom products are going to be ranked on a number of criteria. Do they look like pumpkin spice? Do they smell like pumpkin spice? How good is the pumpkin spiced version compared to the regular version of the products? And a mystery criteria. As we jump into this ranked pumpkin spice bathroom products, the first thing I want to note is we really need to get a baseline. So I have here, it's Greggy's home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. Little venti pumpkin spice. Got to get yourself a baseline Also, I will be sure to, you will see here, that just because we're going to be rating a number of pumpkin spice products, I'm going to show you kind of what we've got on deck. We've got pumpkin spice bath bomb, pumpkin spice latte, bar of soap, phase 1 and phase 2 of bars of soap. We've got pumpkin spice dental gum, pumpkin spice beard oil, pumpkin spice lip balm, pumpkin spice poo-pourri. I know, edgy. Pumpkin spice face scrub, pumpkin spice shampoo, pumpkin spice oat milk beauty mask, pumpkin spice Dawn dish power scrub, pumpkin spice deodorant phase 1, and of course, phase 2, the pumpkin spice room freshener by Airwick, pumpkin spice beard balm, and matching beard wash. And last, but certainly not least, pumpkin spice hand soap, and of course, pumpkin spice dude wipes. So this is ranked. And as we get into this ranked, the first thing, so this is what we've got going on. These are going to be ranked on a number of criteria. One of they're going to be sight. How do they compare to the classic pumpkin spice? Smell. What's the olfactory feel of this pumpkin spice job? The test of like, how usable is the product? Like, does it hold up well in comparison to its non-pumpkin spice counterpart? And last but not least is the yum yum flavor factor. What's it taste like in comparison to OG regular standard issue pumpkin spice? And so we're going to dive in. And the first thing we need to do is we need to begin evaluating some of these things on their smells. So, it's really going to be kind of a labor of love here as we dive in. But we're going to be doing the smell. I think we're going to do the Airwick smell last because I think it's going to have the biggest potential for stank. I'm going to do this big job here. So I can tell you on sight, this thing is very orange. Pumpkin spice latte is a little bit more, it's a little lighter in color than this, but it's pretty close. And actually, the pumpkin spice syrup that Starbucks uses, this is pretty close to what they got going on there. So we're going to get in here. We're going to do it the old fashioned way. We're 100 like bust a hole. So on site, I'd give it it's pretty close. Like as far as pumpkin spice goes, this is going to be pretty close based just because it's on color. So I think I would give the hand soap, I'd give it a 6 for look. For smell, I don't know. Let's get a little baseline here, but we're gonna be going back to the fount. Yeah, that's what I thought. So the thing about pumpkin spice latte is it is coffee scented. It has those coffee notes, where this is purely pumpkin spice. Now I will say a lot of times hand soaps have that like hand soap smell. Not that it was pretty good. I'm gonna say the smell was solid right down the middle 5. Yeah, it is what it is. Next, for smell, we're gonna bump right into this is Fable Beard Company's Parasitic Beard Wash. So we got to get in here and really get a gander at the look of this stuff. It's pretty clear. Yeah, you can kind of see it's totally clear. So it does not look at all like pumpkin spice. Let's give a little sniff. Nah, that's a 0. That's a 0. That's like Fable. I don't know if your beard stuff's pretty good. I'm actually a dark water man myself. I like Dark Water's beard products. But Fable Beard Wash, you get a 1 on looks because it's liquid, and you get a 0 on smell. That smells nothing like pumpkin spice. Big whiff, and not a good way. We'll stay with Fabled. We're gonna go with their beard oil here, and as you can see, I'm getting into a lot of these products, so they're fresh. This has not sat around and lost its stank for a while. Now, I'm gonna give it a 1 as well on the look because it's beard oil. Beard oil always looks the same way as the same, but let's see if we can redeem ourselves here in some smell factor. Okay, now we're dancing a dance. We're dancing a dance here. You know what? We're here. No, I don't want to put any on because it might mess up my scent, my scenting for the others. But for looks, again, that smell, I think that's actually, it might even be better than the soap. I'm going to give that, I got some oil on my hand and thus on my keyboard. I'm going to give that a solid 7 for the smell. That was good pumpkin spice, given big pumpkin spice mojos. Let's go over here. This is, again, Fabled. This is Beard Balm, Grip and Rip. Oh boy. A little more chocolatey than I was hoping. Definitely notes of pumpkin. The look is a little more, it actually is closer to the look of, I'm going to give it a 3 on look. It's not liquid, so it's hard to tell. And I've got to give it a 3 on smell as well. It's got too many notes of chocolate, but yeah, not bad. I'm eager to put those through its paces. And last from Fabled is their Fabled Pumpkin Spice deodorant here. Okay. The look is going to get the same as the balm, Fabled Deo. It's going to be a 3 for looks. It's mostly the same. The smell is actually, man, I'm going to give the smell a 4. It definitely is less chocolate, but the pumpkin smell could be stronger. I'm interested to see. So I actually have 2 deodorants that I'm testing, and I'm actually going to go for the other deodorant right out of the gate here next to that one. So this is Dr. Squatch's Drunken Pumpkin Spice flavored deodorant. So the look is, it gets less on the look because it is not as yellow. It's a little more gray. So I'm going to give the look a 2, but the smell, yeah, no, sorry. I'm a big fan of the Squatch. But that smell is not as good. I am going to give it a 3 for smell for the Squatch. And then we'll stay right at home. Drunken Pumpkin bar of soap. Let's check it out. Let's get into it here. So Dr. Squatch, these seasonal ones are sometimes, oh sweet Lord help us. So I just smelled my microphone. It was a weird thing and everybody saw it. So the color is definitely more pumpkin spice. I'm definitely looking at like 6, maybe 5 or 6. Definitely got some marbleizing on there. Yeah, no, this is, So the look, we're going to go with a 6. I'm going to go a 5 on the look. Looks a 5. The smell, however, has got to be like, it's the same as the hand soap. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to drop the hand soap smell to a 3. It's got that like soap smell more so than the actual like, hey, this is this thing. We're going to stick with that to compare. We're going to stick with the bar soap thing. So this is Duke Cannon's pumpkin spice offering. Now, first thing I'm noticing as I get in here, the big, again, Duke Cannon, they give you that fat brick of soap. It is not as pumpkin themed. So we're going to give it a 3 on look because it's kind of got that latte look, but not as much pumpkin is evident here. Okay. So to me, this is better pumpkin spice smell than Dr. Squatch's bar. I'm actually going to give this smell a 5. It's very, very good. And I actually think that's the closest. I want to go back there's something warm about that. Just warms you up all the way down. What am I doing? If I ain't going to have a sip every now and then, what am I doing? Yeah, no, that smells a 5. Also kind of in the same theme, I got a little bath balm. We'll jump in here, find out. So first things first, it looks nothing like, other than it's in the shape of a pumpkin spice in a mug. Oh, no. Nah, that just is not it. Here, I'll get the wrapping off so I can really, but I have a feeling it's going to be kind of messy and it's not really going to stay together very well because I can already see it starting to crumble in spaces. So, oh yeah, it straight up just looks like pumpkin cocaine is going everywhere right now. We'll get this open here and we'll really give it a, yeah, no. Yeah, that's a big no for me. That's a big no for me, dude. That's bad. That just smells like flowers. The bath bomb, the look, we're gonna give it a 2 because it's in the shape of a pumpkin spice latte. The smell's a 0. It is a big miss. Swing and a miss. Now, granted, there is gonna be a use factor where I will smell them while I'm using them, and that might edit these scores later. But this is an initial gut check score. Next, we're going to move into the pumpkin spice face mask. Now, truly, I'm sure the internet is just waiting for Hunter's review. Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to interact with this product. And this is beyond anything I've ever seen before. But the color is very pumpkin spice latte. We're given that look. I mean, it's a 5. The look's a 5. It's a big no for me. The look's a 5. The smell's a 0. We're going to go ahead and put that lid right back on there. Looks a 5. Face mask. FM. Look is a 5. Smell is a 0. Next up, we got a little Dove cinnamon pumpkin pie. Now, granted, this isn't technically pumpkin spice, but it's the closest that I could find. And I'm going to do my best to bring it to a head here so you can really get a feel. So that is the color of, it's pretty close. I'd give it a 4. The 4 looks a 4. Smell is a little more vanilla-y than I would want. So looks 4. Smell is going to be a 3. It's nothing crazy. We're within the realm, but like we're not quite there. We're going to jump. Yeah, let's go over here. So this is Dawn Platinum Plus Power Wash Dish Spray Pumpkin Spice Scent. Now, I don't really know how to interface with this in a way that is wise while I record. The looks, other than it's liquid, it looks nothing. Let's get the lid back on there before we have a serious problem on our hands. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the look's a 1. The smell it's a 2. It's very, very, very subtle. I'm wondering if a lot of these products, as they interact with water, if it will increase. Let's get into the poopery. So now poopery, if you don't know, it's a spray before you go. And I am almost afraid to uncap. So yeah, it's clearish. It's very fall and festive. Yeah, so look again is 1. Smells a 3. Yeah, we'll give it a 4. Smells a 4. Smells actually really good. Big fan of that smell. I can't wait to blast my stink with that. We're going to open this last because I have a feeling that there's going to be no returning. And I think I'm going to have to test this in real time. And so I don't think I'm going to be able to crack this and do all my tests with it and really come back from it. So this will be opened last. So next up is our Burt's Bees Pumpkin Spice Lip Balm. When your lips are chapped from the fall, from the winds, you get up in here. Bert, dang it, Bert. Why has Bert got so many things to get into his balms? All right, so immediate look, it's very white. It's a 1. It doesn't look anything like pumpkin spice. Bert, I don't think Bert's ever had pumpkin spice. Looks a 1, smells a 1. Bert B. It's kind of sad. That was the one I was like, oh, this might be it. Now, I got a couple of special things here. This is pumpkin spice flavored Simply Gum. Now, Simply Gum is like healthy-ish for your teeth gum. So we're going to see, oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, that looks like rat poison. Look, it's a 1. I don't know. Smell is, I'm not getting a lot for smell. I'm hoping that when I begin chewing it, it will improve. Smells probably a 2. There's some notes of cinnamon in there. Now, I'm really excited about this. And I got to confess, I've already been, I'm already way deep into the use of these. These are Dude Wipes Dumpkin Spice Flushable Wipes. And I have an open pack right there. I got to confess. But I'm going to open one fresh so we can really make sure that we're getting the full effect of the smell. We're not losing any of that smell flavor. See, fresh package. Yeah, it's pumpkin-y. See, the look is a 0. Like it's a wipe. But the smell, I'd give it a 5. It's pretty good. Like they did a pretty good job. I got nothing to complain about there. And then, as promised here, the Airwick air freshener. Now, this is going to be kind of a lot to dive into because once I plug this in, it is going to produce a stank. And I don't know if it's battery operated or like what the function of it is. Yeah, it's battery operated, baby. There it is. We got a big old cluster of batteries down in here. So let's go ahead and get that in. So I'm going to say the look of this is it's a 1, it's a liquid. Like I said, liquids are going to score 1s because pumpkin spice is a liquid. Well, I guess pumpkin spice is a solid or a powder, whatever that is. But pumpkin spice latte is a liquid. Now, I'm going to get this kind of fired up here because I think this has the most promise in the area of smell. Like I really think that this has the most promise to give good smell, and I plan on leaving this to just enjoy the aromas of the air wick throughout. Tis the season. Let's see. It says 16-hour or 8-hour. Oh, I see. Use only air wicks. Okay. How do I do it, though? Like, I probably shouldn't have thrown the box away, huh? Batteries. I see. I stick the... Yeah, that's a big win on the smell. That's a solid 7 for smell. Air wick gets a 7. Look is 1. Smell is a solid 7. That is delightful. Oh, yeah. We're going to just cap that for a moment before we get it fired up for the evening here. I'm just going to set that right there. We're going to return to that font. And then, last, and before we get into more here, is the pumpkin spice oat milk face mask. So let's crack it open, get it popping, find out what's good here. I don't know how wet this is. That's what she said, but no, brother, there's no way I can interface with this and record. It's far too wet. It's far too wet. How many's in here? Bro. Okay. We know what we need to know. Here's what we need to know. That's a 0 on look. That looks like weird placenta. So looks a 0, hard 0. Smell is also consequently a 0. I'm not getting any pumpkin spice on that. Like, I'm dipping my snoot way down in there, and I'm not... That doesn't bode well for my future. So, with that in mind, we've sampled the look and smell of all these, and now we're going to go test these products out for the next week or so, and then I'll come back and report what we find. So with that in mind, there's really only one thing left for us to test, and that is the real test. People don't get pumpkin spice latte for what it looks like. It looks nice and it smells delicious, and these products all have their usability, but the real question on everybody's mind is, how do they stack up in taste? So first and foremost, let's get this big job out of the way. We've got the pumpkin spice hand soap. Now, I'm not drinking hand soap. I'm not stupid. But, we got to get a flavor for it. You know what I'm saying? It's a 0, brother. I gotta texted something here. Gosh. That is heinous. That is heinous and bad. Ooh, please. Okay, here we go. The Fabled. We're coming back. Oh, -3. How does it taste like pumpkin spice at all? It tastes like swear words. Oh, why is it oily? Gosh. It tastes like swear words. It's a -3 on taste. I need water. What if it never goes away? Okay, the oil. Okay. This one's going to be better. I know it. Wait a minute. That's not 0. That beard oil ain't bad. I mean, it's not good. Officially don't. But that taste it's not a 0. That's a 2. That's a 2. Now we got to reset. We got to reset. Get that little palate cleanser in there. Okay. Fabled balm with the balm here. Let's give it a shot and see if it stacks up. Okay, it's kind of hard, so I'm not sure how I'm going to lick it. Okay, it's not as good as the other one. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's gonna be a 0. That's a 0 on taste for me, dude. Now the Fabled deodorant stick. Now I must confess, and as you all well know very well, this is not my first rodeo putting deodorant in my mouth, so I do know what to expect. I do pray that it's different, because if this is anything, I'm not gonna bite it. I'm not dumb. I would never do that. But we got to get, you got to expose the stump a little bit, really circumcise the thing. There we go, and then. Okay, it smells, like I said. Okay. That's actually not as bad as the other one. It's just not good. Like, it's a 0. I mean, it thankfully, it actually almost tastes like nothing. I know if I had bitten it, I would have probably thrown up. So I chose to not to do that. And then, of course, the other deodorant. It's so much more gray and circumcise the squatch. Okay, no, that's a miss. No. Okay, I've tied to both the deodorants. The Fabled deodorant's going to get a 1. It was mostly nothing, but the Dr. Squatch Deo, for taste, that's going to be a -1. It left a weird something in my mouth. Now, we gotta go for the Dr. Squatch bar soap for the taste test here. It's very orange, so I'm hoping that maybe we actually have some pumpkin flavor in this. So yeah. It's better than the liquids, but it's still bad. How do they not taste like pumpkin spice? They all smell good, but they all taste very bad. Okay. I just accidentally created soap bubbles in my mouth. Okay. The Squatch bar soap, not as bad as the deodorant. We're going to give it a 0. I'm really bummed here. The Duke Cannon on taste. Where's that thick job? There it is. Let's get it. Get back in here. I'm doing this so nobody else has to figure it out for you. Oh, no. Okay, Duke Cannon, that was bad. That was -2. Why is it spicy? Why does my tongue hurt? I think Duke Cannon actually has like some sort of a spice in the soap. Highly do not recommend. Ugh. All right, bath bomb. Now, listen, I'm not sure about this because we are so granulated at this point that we're going to start dissolving as soon as we touch my tongue. Also, something was spicy in what I've done here. And I think it was the Duke Cannon had a spice in it. This smells bad. Like, this sucks. Who makes this? 2 sisters. Maybe one of y'all to quit. Oh, no. Immediately no. Immediately no. -5. -5. Get it out. That's a -5 in case you didn't tell in the middle of all that. Why is it salty? Why is it salty? Sick and bad. That sucked so bad. That sucked. All right. The face mask. Now, this is, I will admit, I am actually scared. It had salt in it. So this is a face mask. Oh, help me. This is very pasty. Caution, keep out of reach of children. For external use only. Avoid contact with mouth and eyes. May contain nuts. Oh, it's clay. Ugh, it tastes like clay. There's a lot of just trying to get it out of my mouth, mostly because I don't want to be sick and go to the hospital. That tastes like clay. It's actually not as bad as a lot of the things I've tried, but it just tastes like clay. It doesn't taste like pumpkin spice at all. We need a reset. Starbucks. The face mask. The taste is like a 0. It tastes like clay. It tastes nothing like pumpkin spice. Dove shampoo. Why does it have to be liquid? It says cinnamon pumpkin pie. Now, I know what pumpkin pie tastes like, and I'll tell you this, it doesn't look like this. So we're just gonna... Oh, that is real bad. No, that's a 0 for me. That's a -1. Okay, we're getting it. The Dawn Power Scrub. Listen, I don't even know. I don't even know. It's dripping. It's dripping on me. I'm just going to take a little bit from the bottom. Like a hamster. No, that's dangerous for my face. No, that's -8. No, -4. That was the first one I've tasted where I said, if I swallow this, I might be bad. I mean, I might not be good. Whew, golly, Dawn Power Wash. Okay, poopery. Granted, this is supposed to be sprayed inside your toilet bowl before you drop ham. How am I going to try Airwick? I guess the same way. Yeah, the little hamster pulls. Nope. More wiping. I'm almost afraid to drink anything. I'm also like losing sensation in my tongue. I don't know if that's natural. Sorry to see that. That felt like the safest path forward. Needless to say, poopery tastes -4. Again, felt dangerous to me. Burt's Bees. Now, this one I think we could have some redemption here. I think this could be the redemption arc because this is designed to be put on my mouth. Like this is the closest any of these, besides the pumpkin spice latte, is supposed to come to be going into my mouth. So like, and I used to eat this stuff as a kid. 100% natural. I say full send. Oh, if I might have full send. I got wax in my teeth. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. The taste is a 3. It's one of the better ones that I've tasted. So much wax in my mouth right now. We're going to end on the gum for reasons that are obvious here. Yeah, so that means that the next thing I'll stick in my face is Dude Wipe. Again, supposed to definitely go on your butt.
Show it like this.
Honestly though, like, it's not good. But like, it didn't make me want to retch. Somehow, the wipe for your butthole is like a 1. It does not taste like pumpkin spice, but like, I didn't feel unsafe. This is stupid. Airwick. Now, I don't even know how to sup it. Is it wet? Oh, God. Jeez. Yo. Oh. That's not safe. It's in my nose. Okay, that's a -5. The taste is bad. Okay, we gotta get to this gum fast. The oat milk mask. Please, God, help. Please let it be delicious. It's oat milk and pumpkin. It has to be good. People, you're freaking kidding me. Why does it have to be so wet? There's not a chance. Shoot. Gosh. Oh, no, that's another rinse. That's -Mm. That's -4. It's not the worst thing that I've done tonight, but that's awful. How can oat milk? That's fake. Frick all that. That is stupid. Okay, this has got to be the one. Like, full reset. Oh my God, that's never tasted so good. This Simply Gum. Now again, it looks like rat poison, but it has to be the best tasting one. Yeah. This almost immediately gets 1,000. Bruh, there ain't no way. That's an 8. Nay, that's almost a 9. Bro. That's baffling. They caught it. They did it. That's freaking lightning in a bottle. Simply Gum taste. I'm putting an 8. Oh my gosh, it's so good compared to everything else I just did. That's so delightful. Okay. Now, for the results. All of these considerations, it's time to discuss some things. So, the first is the hand soap's usability. It's a 5. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly serviceable. It's a perfectly serviceable gel hand soap, but it's nothing crazy. It's not even my preferred hand soap. The scent was fine, but again, the smell was one thing. We're going off of the usability compared to other hand soaps, and I would much prefer, the pearlized is not really my thing. Fable Beard Wash, I will note, its usability, I actually preferred it to some of the beard washes that I use. Now, I have a company that I use for most, if not all, of my beard products. Shout out Dark Water. If you guys have beards, y'all need to be getting your beard products from Dark Water Supply. I'll put even they are great. They're a phenomenal Christian-owned company. Great dudes. They make great stuff. Their coffee beard products, unmatched. Their beard balm is my favorite beard balm, and I will die on that hill. However, that said, the Fable Beard Wash was pretty good. It had a 7 in usability. It's definitely better than many. Their beard oil was right down the middle, perfectly serviceable, a little strong in the scent for me. But yeah, it was a 5 for me on usability. Now their balm is going to get, I don't know if it was like what it was, but it's going to get a 3. Mine was kind of hard to get into for the Fabled balm. And the Fabled deodorant, here's what I'm going to say. I don't know if it's a fluke. I don't know what was going on, but it absolutely scorched my underarms. Like, I had to do 3 days of reset on no deodorant just to get my underarms unchafed. I was fully chafed. And so usability, it was usable, but I think it burned I think it's just a me problem. Giving it a 2. I could give it a 0, but I'm not. But the Dr. Squatch Deo, now, huge fan. It's getting a 7. Oh, I was going to say 6, but then I said 7. Kids, chill out. The Dr. Squatch bar soap, also very excellent, good smell. I'm giving it a 5, and I'll tell you why here in just a moment. And I've learned some things because Duke Cannon is getting a 7 on usability over Dr. Squatch's 5. Now, this is not me taking a stance on one that's better. This is purely a size, shape, look, and use thing. And yeah, it just don't worry about it. Now, this is where I must confess. At the point of record and in order to release this episode well, the bath bomb was untested. So I will give it a fairness score of 5, dead down the center, and I will update via social media once I have a chance to use it. But I'm pretty confident, like, it's a bath bomb. It's going to be pretty hard to mess that up. The only thing is I think is going to make the water look like straight dookie, but we'll see. The face mask, let me explain something to you. The face mask straight up was whack as heck. I had this thing on my face. Usability, I don't really have a frame of reference for how usable it was compared to other face masks. My wife seemed to think it was a pretty good one, so I'll give it a 5. The Dove shampoo, also good usability. I'm going to give it a 4 because it's not like I actually preferred. Now, the usability on the Dove Power Wash or the Dawn Power Wash, my wife said, quote, I like this stuff. This stuff's pretty good. So for her to give it a glowing review, we're going to give that an 8. Poopery, just like all poopery, is highly usable. Don't go unprepared. I always look how quickly I can get to poopery. Did you see how quickly I got to that? It's like, oh man, I got to do a Chaz flip. You got to do a Chaz Royale. Bam, poopery in hand. So usability on the pooperies is going to get a 7. Like every workspace should have poopery. That's just facts. Burt's Bees, the usability is it's really like a 3 or a 4. I'm gonna say 4, and the reason I'm saying 4 is it's lip balm, it's chapstick, like it is what it is. But man, I wanted more pumpkin spice flavor. It was so subtle. The Simply Gum is getting a 1, and here's why. It's not that it's bad, but of all the things that you actually put in your mouth, this one's just if I would never use it over other gum. It was good, and it was like good for your teeth or whatever, but like the flavor goes quick. It just kind of increasingly just becomes spicy in time. The usability on the Dude Wipes, it's for sure an 8. I found myself returning to the Dude Wipes over and over. The Airwick, we've actually placed the Airwick in our laundry room because it's keeping things fresh. The usability of the Airwick is, I'm actually baffled that we're enjoying it as much as I'm putting a 9 on the usability. Ooh, it said 69. Ooh, I typed it wrong. That's weird. And last, the face mask on the face. Again, I have no frame of reference, but Anna said it was a nice one. It was good. So we're going to give it a 5 as a frame of reference. And so, without further ado, the winner of the Privy Cast's ranked pumpkin spice bathroom products is the Dumpkin Spice Dude Wipes with a final score of 16. It's a good showing. In a close second place was Fable Beard's beard oil, mostly because that smell was so delectable. It really did a lot of work there. And then in a close third, right behind all of them, was the pumpkin spice hand soap, coming in at 14 pumpkin spice points out of a possible 40, I might add. Dumpkin Spice Dude Wipes came in with 16 out of a possible 40. None of these did great on taste, I will add, except for maybe the gum. It lost a lot of points on usability there. But this brings us to the end of another ranked and another episode of Privy. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we would love for you to leave the show a rating or review. The 5-star options are preferred. You can leave us a rating and review at Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts. And every rating and review you leave will donate $1 to Wounded Warriors and Living Water International. As a reminder to keep pooping in the free world, that free world was not always free. And in pursuit of cleaner water for all. Not everybody has it, but everybody should. As we take time this season to be thankful, show your thanks to the show, and we might for the month of November bump that to a couple bucks for ratings and reviews left. Thank you guys for joining us on this bathroom journey. We want to thank Kevin MacLeod and Poddington Bear for the use of their music during today's episode. You can find their music online at incompetech.org, and Poddington Bear, or the sound of music, or sound picture of sound. None of this is, we'll get this sorted out. Sorry, Poddington. I'm tired. As always, you can send us an email, privycast@gmail.com. Check out the website, privy-cast.com. We've got some fun stuff going on there. Follow us on social media at privycast. You can follow me. I'm at Owlet7. Thank you so much for being here. This has been another episode of Privy. Keep pooping in the free world. Slurp that pumpkin spice. And now, as always, don't forget to flush.